Hey, and welcome to Witchcrafty. I may sound a little nasally today because it's been really heavily raining in the UK, so just apologies if it's kind of annoying. Anyway, today I wanted to show you how to make a Poro plushie from League of Legends, as the summer split is nearly coming to an end. I've added a link in the description to a free downloadable pattern for my DeviantArt to save you from drafting it, and to help spread the love of free patterns because there are way too little that are gaming themed. So let's get into it. For the construction, you're going to need toy stuffing, white, dark brown, pink and black material. As usual, like all of my crafts, I'm using felt due to the accessibility and price factor to showcase how it looks in the cheapest possible material. But I do recommend minky material to replicate the fur of the Poro in-game. You'll need thread that matches the material, a sewing needle or machine, scissors, pins, a fabric marker or pen to trace the pattern onto the material, and a printer. Before we begin, I just want to go over a few things on the pattern to help you in the creation process. If you understand how to use patterns already, feel free to skip this part. On the pattern, there will be a little box that indicates to leave seam allowance. Seam allowance just means that we need to leave a 1 to 2 cm gap around the tracing of each shape while cutting it out to hide the raw edges. Make sure while you're tracing it to leave enough space so that this is possible. Also, the numbers on the pattern indicate how many you will need to trace of each shape. All of the sewing techniques brought up during the video will have resources linked below to assist you if you get stuck on any of the technical terms. Great, so we can now get started on the plush. First, we just need to print off the pattern and cut it out. We can then begin with the colour order of each of the shapes. In the white fabric, we're going to need the large circle, the body front, the side body, the paws, and the small eye glint. In the dark brown fabric, we're going to need the horn shape and the claw tips. In the pink fabric, we're going to need the tongue shape. And lastly, in the black fabric, we're going to need the eye oval shape. Before cutting it out, I just want to clarify the seam allowance on the claw tips does not need to go all the way around. It only needs to have seam allowance on the curved side. We can leave out the seam allowance on the straight line. This is just because there's nothing on the straight line that we're going to need to cover up later on. We then just need to cut everything we need out. Once we have all of our pieces, we can then begin the assembly process. The first thing that we're going to assemble is the body shape. To do this, I'm going to connect the body front with the large circle. We will be doing this with all of the tracing on the outside in order to sew it with ease, and we're just going to use a running stitch along the lines. Once it's connected, I'm just going to sew along the accent curve at the top. This part is just to give the plush a more round shape. Then I'm going to take both of the body side pieces and sew up both of the accent curves in the corners. We then just need to line up both of the body side pieces together and sew along the line. Now we just need to attach this to the other part of the body. This can be a little tricky, as for this pattern we require a little bit of overhang to create the rounded shape of the Poro. I suggest you pin it in place when it's lined up like this, then sew along the tracing line, being careful about how we sew the curve accent. Making sure it's all properly lined up, we just need to join it all together to the large circular bottom. Once we've nearly reached the end of the line, leave enough space just to flip it inside out and stuff it generously so it holds a decent ball shape. One of the issues I encountered while drafting this is if the plush has a little bit of excess overhang due to dodgy seam allowance. You can fix this by folding it inwards and using an invisible stitch to conceal the excess. We then just need to close up the gap with an invisible stitch. We can then move on to the tongue. You don't have to do this, but I feel like it adds a bit more character to the Poro. I drew a line on the tracing side down the centre and sewed along it, pulling slightly to create a slight curve to add dimension to the tongue. Then I placed both pieces with the tracing on the outside and sewed along the line. Once I was nearly at the end, I stuffed it a tiny bit just to give it a bit more structure and concealed the gap with an invisible stitch. Then we can sew on the small glints for the eyes using matching thread and small neat stitches, as they will be visible later on. Make sure to check a reference image before placing these, as they impact the expression of the plush a whole lot if placed incorrectly. With the horns, we just need to leave the bottoms open in order to connect them to the plush later on, and sew along the line, leaving the tracing on the outside. They will need a small bit of stuffing once flipped inside out, but not too much, as we don't want to make it too awkward to attach on later. And finally we can move on to the paws. This is the most difficult part of the plush, as it's the most finicky. Firstly, we just need to line up the tracing of the claws to the paws, placing the claws on the side of the paws that does not have tracing so it's visible later. We then need to join them onto each individual paw with matching thread by sewing neatly along the straight line. Once done, we can begin joining all of the paws together, making sure to try and blend the fabric as much as possible. So, in order to do this, we'd start at the top of the paw with white thread, then switch to dark brown for the claws, and back to white along the rest, leaving the tops open in order to connect it to the plush later. Once done, we can flip them inside out and stuff them to give them a little structure. Then, all we need to do is connect it all to the plush with an invisible stitch, making sure to tuck in the excess seam allowance. This can be a really awkward process, so unpin everything to help you get around the plush and attach the pieces as best as possible to match the placement I used. Having a reference picture handy would be the best way to do this successfully, but if you want to change my example or the actual example of the one in game to your own interpretation, be my guest. And finally, we have successfully made a Poro plushie. Let me know if you tried out the pattern and if you enjoyed the video down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more nerdy creations. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!